the food that you eat. So make sure your company is good company and make sure your food is pure food. We should be encouraging organic farms. We should be encouraging organic gardens. We should be at the forefront of the urban homesteading movement. These are things that Muslims should be involved in. We should reject. Don't think, I'm going to go to McDonald's and have a halal fish. Right? Seriously, because the whole way that McDonald's, everything about McDonald's is antithetical to our Prophet ﷺ and his sunnah. And I'm speaking openly. I don't care what anybody says. I am telling you that fast food is something that is destroying people. And we have to oppose fast food consumption. Don't drink Coca-Cola. Don't drink Pepsi-Cola. Don't drink Kauthar Cola. Don't drink cola. Drink water. Drink milk. Drink soy milk if you want to, but don't drink these drinks that have nothing good for you, and the way they're produced is unhealthy. We have an unsustainable consumption of plastic. If you look back there and look at the number of plastic cans that are plastic bottles of water that are back there, we've got a garbage fill in Isna. Because we're drinking. This is unsustainable. It cannot be sustained. We have to find alternative approaches to the way we consume things. We have to be committed to being green. The green dean. But we have to have commitment. I don't want applause. I want real commitment. I want people to commit to changing their lives. We need to divest in our homes. We need to we talk about boycotting Israel. I'm talking about boycotting all of them. If you can recognize their names, you should be boycotting them. Because these people are destroying this planet. They're over-consuming, they're overselling. Costco is a crisis. The whole Costco mentality. Do you know that they don't even put labels on Costco halls, so you don't know where things are in Costco, because they want you to wander around, because they know people will have impulse buying and buy more things than they actually needed. This is social psychology. You are being manipulated like mice in a maze. And we need to oppose this type of mentality because it's destroying people. So I'm really asking you to really think about the Better World Buying Guide. We should have our own Muslim version of that. Of really making choices. I don't fly United Airlines anymore because they get an F. I don't fly American. I fly Virgin American, I fly Southwestern, and I fly JetBlue, because these have the highest ratings in terms of how they treat their employees, in terms of their commitment to social responsibility, the amount of money they're having. Legislation is not having an impact on these people. They control legislation. The only thing that will have an impact on these people is that we stop supporting them, because they have bought our senators, they have bought our congressmen. Mitt Romney speaks on their behalf, and Barack Obama speaks on their behalf. We need to take back our country, and the way we do that is by educating ourselves and educating others and making moral commitments to not being part of the madness that we're in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kunu shuhada ala nas. Be witnesses unto mankind. Be witnesses unto mankind. Be kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You are the best community brought forth. We have to embody those meanings. We need to stop supporting clothes. I get now, my clothes are made. I have a tailor who prays 5 prayers in the masjid. And I go and he makes me my clothes in one day. And I know that the garments are actually fair trade garments. I don't want to support this system anymore, and I don't think you should want to, or you should. We need to have an exit strategy, and we can do that. There are morally committed Americans that are not Muslims that are living purer lives in terms of what they practice than most of the Muslims that I know. I know people that don't carry credit cards in their wallets because they don't believe in them. Non-Muslim peoples that are doing this, they will not carry credit cards. I met a Catholic who was so committed to the idea of not having usury. And she felt, and she actually engaged the Muslims, and she said, I was so deeply disappointed because when I found out Muslims, like the Catholics of old, before 1832, Muslims also maintained the prohibition of usury, but still, unlike the Catholics, still adhered to it. And she said, when I went to try to create a group of people that could work together to get out of the usurious system. We should have our own credit cards. We can do this. Muslims can have their own credit cards. We need to have our own banks. Banks are not easy. They're not hard to start. It's very easy to start. It's so easy to start that instead of the bank robbers, they used to rob the banks. They realized we can just start our banks. Why rob them and risk going to jail? Let's just open up our own banks and then we can rob all the people. Right? This is what they did. So they actually got on the boards of the banks. Right? Really. This is what's happened. So this is absolutely imperative that we really think about this. I would recommend going to moveyourmoney.org about moving out of the major banks into the smaller credit unions, local banks as a first step. Because all of these major banks, they own all of the pawn shops. They own all of the usurious check cashing schemes in the poorest neighborhoods. It's the same companies. You should look at the documentary Maxed Out and see what they do. It's sinister what they do. And they destroy your credit scores because they want you to have low credit scores. So if you miss one payment, you get knocked down on your credit score because they want you to pay more interest. It's all a game. It's a scheme. And people have been really, unfortunately, they've become victims, but it's because of our lack of vigilance. It's our lack of vigilance. So this is, I really feel this is absolutely necessary that we become part of the solution and not part of the problem. But we have to do it with real moral commitment. That's the only way.